failed relationship or friendship, well, it will be okay. When someone you love wakes up one morning and tells you it's over, you'll probably feel like it's a nightmare. Unfortunately, it will be one you wouldn't be able to wake up from. You may even start wondering where you went wrong. You will be pushed to a wall called guilt. You will blame yourself because you will begin to think that it's all your fault that he or she had to leave. And then you will shame your esteem and hate yourself for ever having sweet dreams of happily ever afters. And you do all these things to yourself because the devil doesn't want you to win. But hey, what if this person was never meant to stay after all? What if you never did anything wrong? My dear, what if it is okay that he or she left you? Think about all the possibilities and quit trying to hold on. Most times the holding on is most painful than the letting go. There are points in a relationship where you reach and realize that to plead come back isn't the way out. Instead, the waving goodbye is the right path. So begin to liberate yourself from whatever regret his or her departure may have made you feel. You see, sometimes when someone exits your life, they are doing you a favor. Listen, they are doing you a huge favor. You know why? Because they leave an empty space for someone who deserves to be there. Anyone who thinks that he or she can walk out of your life just like that doesn't deserve you. A lot of good men have been abandoned by an ingrate of a lover. And they couldn't bring themselves down to terms with this harsh plot of reality. Begged at the stake, love must be really blind. It was so obvious that this lady didn't deserve this man's love, but they didn't care. They didn't care of what anyone thought or said. They went on to ask her if there was any way that could make it work, could make it up to her. And can you guess the reply of this lady? She said there was nothing they could do to make her stay. See, in defeat, so he thought, he left. Unknown to him, it was the beginning of his victory. And still in the dark, he mourned and tried to move on. But later on, someone new, someone good and true finally came to his life. And he recalled that if his ex never left, he would have never forgotten to feel the arms of appreciation, because this new partner is the one whose heart is filled with gratefulness for everything he does for her. This is why you need to stop being hard on yourself when someone leaves your life, because they have only done this unknowingly to your advantage, but according to God's will, according to God's good work. Whoever left you must still be stalking you to find out if you're broken, so that they can go back and give you the report of how your life has become meaningless without them. What? But child of Zion, I want you to realize something. Don't give them this opportunity to mock you. They got to see you and realize that it was a big mistake that they left on their part. But you on your part should thank them. Thank them for their exit or shed your blessings. When someone leaves your life, it is perfectly okay. Let go, but don't let the lessons learned leave. In an article titled "What to Do When Someone Leaves You," Sylvia Salo says, every person is a teacher. When you miss the lesson, the mind can't stop thinking about that person. The purpose is not to torture you, but to help you understand what the person was supposed to pass on to you. Do you understand what this is trying to tell you? That people who hurt are vessels that contain worthy content. People who hurt you are vessels that contain worthy content. So don't smash the vessels in anger for what it has done to you. Seek out its content instead. Learn what it wants you to learn. There's some people who are making headway in their present relationships, all because of the lessons they learned from the past, which taught them to be better lovers to their partners. You see, Salo also makes one to understand that if you don't learn this lesson, life has a way of making you go through that same pain again. And I don't know how many times you've been heartbroken, but such series must end. And that chain must be broken. You have to learn that people come and people go. That departure from your life is perfectly fine. The only issue can lie in your misunderstandings of what the breakup really is. He or she might have left you in order to hurt you, but God wants you to learn that His great people have faced all kinds of challenges and came through victoriously. You won't be an exception. And so if they leave, it's okay. God remains to heal your broken heart and bind up your wounds. So the Bible says in Psalm chapter 147 verse 3. So while acknowledging that it is okay to be abandoned by people, I just thought to break this line of thoughts and bring to picture the model of perfection. That's Jesus. Jesus Christ. I want you to know that if you're still feeling like it isn't okay to be rejected and you're feeling all bad because you feel like people don't reject things that are good, then I want to remind you of Christ. This man had no sin, yet he was devalued. In Mark chapter 6, beginning from verse 1, we are told that Jesus went to his hometown. Home sweet home, right? But instead of receiving hospitality, he got hostility from the people. They were offended by him for no sensible reason, but Jesus said it was okay after all. Jesus said a prophet is not without honor except in his own country, among his own relatives, and in his own house. He understood this reality perfectly, and so he didn't let this get to him. And of course, he felt the pain, even the physical ones, for he was tortured. There was a point where they even wanted to throw him off the cliff. That's in Luke chapter 4 verse 9. And at the end, they felt that they had succeeded when he was crucified. And that's how those who leave you may think. That they have brought you down. That they've brought you down. But just as the sun and just as the Son of God, you shall rise high and bright. These people who plotted against Jesus were people he loved and wanted to save, but as you're learning, love is not always reciprocated, and Jesus needs you to understand that it is okay. For at the end, the rejected stone became the cornerstone in Mark chapter 12 verse 10. Don't you ever think for a second that people don't live the best of things. They do, and that's okay. So when they leave you, it is essential to learn and let go of people in peace and love. If you hold on anger, negative energy, including guilt, it will create some disturbance in your own life, and that's what Silver Salo says. And this to say that even though it is okay when they leave you, you can never be okay if you hold on to bitterness. All aspects of your well-being is balanced if you are able to let go in peace. Even Job didn't find relationships easy. He once said, "My relatives have failed, and my intimate friends have forgotten me." And somewhere amidst the struggle, he must have said, "But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay" as a positive spirit that reminds you that even when the lovers leave, God's word tells you, "I will never leave you. I will never abandon you." And that's because He doesn't change. Shalom.